the wild card match, whatever you want to call it. Okay, we're into draft here. So LeBlanc banned versus Caps. This is banned like every game versus him. Caitlyn, Lucian, and I think Hecarim are going to be the bans from G2. We'll have to see. Set is banned from Rogue. Makes a lot of sense. I wonder if we're going to see Jankos just like play Volibear or something like that, or if he's actually willing to play the carry junglers. Zoe banned as well. Thresh, they're running it back. It's going to be first pick Hecarim again. They're running it back. I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like this is just not what you want to do. If they're going to Graves again into it, ugh.
We'll see whether or not they're going to opt to go for the exact same plan, and they do. So
Volibear into Hecarim doesn't even seem good either.
G2 coming in, they obviously planned on leaving the Hecarim open. I feel like
I don't know.
The Graves is
it seems like Jankos is like becoming.
To the Hecarim.
I don't know. He's becoming just like a role-playing jungler where it's like, what happened to carry Jankos?
Super popular over in the LCK and the LPL, even after
the
but isn't that top lane?
Inspired with the Kha'Zix hover.
Jungle, so it's seen as a really strong top lane champion on its own, and that's where you can flex it into the top lane. If
into the Kali, okay, makes sense. Do they take the Ashe here, or the Kalista here into the Ashe, or do they just maybe go Jhin?
It is a conundrum, and when we came into the series,
I think you could go Jhin here, and it's pretty okay because you have dive and you can follow up the dive with a long range. Senna is fine too. Yeah, it's the same concept. You can follow up the dive with like long range support.
So in game 1, Rogue had the ability to bring out the Akali later.
Okay, and Tarek early picked here from G2, so this is their counter to the Hecarim Akali comp. This doesn't solve the early game, this just solves the team fighting, or theoretically solves the team fighting, so we'll have to see if this actually matters.
It's a very strong champion right now, so they want to take that one away, and G2 are going to do what they did against Fnatic last week and respond with the Tarek to answer some of this dive power, which worked very well last week. We'll see if it works well again today.
Tarek was also banned in game
okay,
1
Nautilus ban.
phase 2 from Rogue's perspective. And along with that, Nautilus, which now finds himself
Wait,
in the
did
ban
anyone
pool.
stream pause or just mine?
Run into the Akali?
Or is my
What
stream
would you
dead?
like to run? Something that you see is still open and available.
Doesn't say my stream is dead.
That Syndra, it is something we've seen a whole lot.
Yeah, I'm almost expecting the Syndra to get banned out here as well. Orianna, even though Rogue picked Akali into the Orianna pre-6, you can see Orianna nullifies that matchup, even wins that matchup with the range trash he's able to put out. So I think Syndra falls into a very similar ballpark and is also one of Caps' strongest champions in the mid lane. So I would like to see that removed. And once
Not sure what's happening here.
It's the Cap show, you know, whatever he wants to run to
is it just YouTube,
period?
period?
Because frankly, like the scaling mage picks do not seem to beat it.
It certainly seems that way. Right now we're going to see what this final ban is. What will Rogue choose to take off the board? When we're thinking about potential mid lane counters, Jace is one that you always have to think about. It's a bit of an old school counter, but because G2 can bring that AP top laner in the form of an eco, I think it's something you should always think about. We'll see what they do decide to lock in. It is going to be.
I refreshed. I'm still getting the error, so not sure what's happening right now. This is pretty unfortunate.
In Europe too, as
it's down. Let's try again.
Just showcasing that respect. They don't want to have to deal with a scaling mage. They don't want G2 to be running this front to back composition, which they could definitely go for with the draft that they currently have.
Still getting it.
Ooh, I would love a Lissandra.
It's just paused. I don't know. I refreshed and I reloaded the page completely.
I'd love to see now where this Volibear is going to end up.
What could this be? How do I fix this?
We do anticipate it into the jungle, and Perks will lock in the Syndra for Caps.
Oh, the YouTube, I can't even get to the YouTube video.
All-time 17 wins, 4 losses on that champion. It is exceptional.
It's something that's been so good for G2 consistently. Caps' performance have been very pivotal towards their success. Now for Rogue, I wonder, like, we just brought
F5.
Ornn
what does that
one
do?
more time. Ornn, that through damage into the backline is so effective next to an
Oh,
Akali.
now I got it back.
Backstage, like
But now
Ornn,
paused again.
GP, all these champions that can deal damage to a backline and offer CC, set up so nicely.
What does Control
for
F5 do?
For any sort of assassin, a GP plus the Hecarim plus the Akali coming to the backside, it's going to be really, really hard for Perks and Caps this game.
Do you know what's also really difficult for many champions? So, closing the gap. When Gangplank ultimate
it's like constantly pausing for me.
Is going to be awkwardly slowed. Ashe and Syndra are going to be forced to move.
Now it looks like it's unpaused. Let's see if it lasts.
And I want to see G2
Not sure what happened.
that can go in, go hard, and actually start a fight. And I think
watch it on Twitch. I mean, if I watch it on Twitch, it won't be possible to sing because I'll be ahead of you guys.
As a means to deal with Rogue's comp.
Ding, 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 locked in. So one of the big gaping holes from G2's composition is finalized.
Okay, it looks like it's fine for right now.
That Scion. Volley Bear in the jungle, do we like it? Do we dislike it? It came very early
And
in the drop.
internet? I mean, I don't know why my internet would be wrong. Like, if my internet was bad, then wouldn't I
I
be DCing from
Look, I
stream?
think against a lot of melee champions,
Okay,
the
so
Warbear pick can have a lot of
you get the
value. He
Finn
likes to
GP
brawl,
here.
he likes to get
The Finn
aggressive,
GP
especially
into
with
Sion,
the
I'm not sure
Sion.
about that. I
Playing
feel
for
like,
control
so
around
this
the
is the
lane.
worst
That can be a
tank
lot
matchup
26
for
whereas
GP.
Rogue
GP is good into
has
tanks,
level
but Sion
6
is the one that does the
go.
best into
Ultimately,
GP.
quick shot, this game is going to be about
I think
the
that this is
jungle
actually going to be
duos.
advantage
Last
for
game, Larson and
G2.
Inspired
Looking at
really
this draft,
set
it's just a more
themselves up,
consistent,
but
easy
it
to
is
play
Caps
draft.
again,
Also,
who
Caps is like the
traditionally
best Syndra in
been
the world.
strongest mid-jungle duo in Europe. So, can this duo
Wonder
prove
is
themselves
really
to be
solid on
something in
tanks.
game one?
I prefer, if he's playing tank versus Finn on a carry, I feel like it's just one based off that. Yankos is going to be useful even if he gets out jungled by Inspired. And the Tarek is going to be good versus the enemy team comp in a fight. So I think this is fine. I think this is a G2 victory from what I'm seeing.
Let's hope Caps is a little bit more on fire in game 2 as Rogue are taking on G2 Esports.
Watching your site? I mean, I always watch on my site. What do you mean? Okay.
So welcome to Summer's
They're
Rift
in game. That was a
for game number
weird
2.
transition, wasn't it? They just put
We're
up like
hoping
right
for
in game and it
G2
looked
to look
laggy for a
little bit
second.
more alert. Definitely got bullied and beaten up in game 1, and I do not want to take anything away from Rogue. They earned that
Predator
victory.
Volibear, yeah, people
They
like this now.
forced fights,
This is the new
even
tech.
had a few missteps here and there, but they earned it. And now we want to see if they can continue to push down G2. What level?
Timer?
G2 will be
Well, I
showing.
mean, I have to wait for it to actually hit the
Summon-
thing.
summon a spell,
For me to
seeing
time
if
it,
there's anything
it's
crazy.
only
We've got
40
Predator
seconds in game.
coming out
And my
from
timer's at 1
Volibear.
minute. I have to
It
wait
used
for it to hit
be
1 minute.
phase rush, right? Or am I misremembering?
We actually
Press
saw
the
the
attack.
Conqueror, press the attack
Yeah,
were the two
Okay.
very popular options.
Thought
for
Volibear jungle is bad. Now, I think it's
a lot
bad.
of
Some people are
players
playing it
don't
in
realize
Korea.
that
No one
Volibear
plays
said,
it in China.
"Yeah, press the
I think
attack
there's
is really
like
good
a
for your
lot of
skirmishing."
things that are
But
good into
Volibear
it right now.
wins
So
every early skirmish
I'm not a
anyways,
fan
so
here
with
of
the
the
Predator
Volibear.
that has more opportunities to find ganks and wreak havoc in the early game.
And I think that, you know, we already talked about these mid-jungle duo before. I think that we're going to be keeping our eyes very closely on the junglers.
Caps is already
Inspired
mid-diff
versus
game too,
Yanko's
something like
matchup
that.
I think many anticipated the battle of the Polish junglers, as Inspired has been looking to prove himself among some of the best here in Europe, and I think that he's done a fantastic job so far this split,
Well,
especially
behind, I mean, it's
with
the same
Yanko
as it
seeming
was
to
before.
struggle.
Like, you
with
literally
the
are watching on
carry
YouTube for a
jungle
reason, right?
meta.
Like,
Now,
that is
looking
why
at the Volibear,
if I am
he's not
somehow
really
1
making
minute
a strong
behind you, I don't know why
advocate
you have to
to
make it an
this
issue. You
carry
can
jungle
just
meta
literally
style.
pause.
Yankos is
and
trying
sync
to
it.
defy the meta
the whole
in
reason that we
many
use the
ways
YouTube
and
browser.
play through
I'm
the
supposed to
early
be
game,
behind.
So you would need to see some of a return to form because I feel like this split for Yankos, it has not been his greatest work. You know, back-to-back MVPs.
Wouldn't
out of the
Akali,
jungle
Hecarim,
position.
Shen be
Yankos
giga
has
good there?
not
Nah,
had
it's
that
pretty
same
bad because the
level
enemy
of
team had already
impact
picked
as
Tarek.
Yankos of
So then you're just committing to
perhaps
only
have. So
dive
trying to fully
versus a
commit
champion
towards
that
what's been
negates all
plays out
dive.
early. He needs
really bad.
to find that form again. Otherwise, the misplays come in, he gets outscaled. All of a sudden, Inspired has Trinity Force and 20 kills, and you're going to be in trouble again.
Yeah, meanwhile, Inspired has embraced the meta. His Evelynn, his Hecarim, his
Okay.
Graves have all been fantastic.
Finn hard trading early.
He's definitely been stepping it
Doing
up.
well so far.
We'll see how both go toe-to-toe in this game. It looks like that they're starting on bot side, moving up towards
Caps
the top
just
side of
zoning
the map,
already, man.
with
This is
Yankos
why they
with a
call him the
full
best
player
Syndra in
on
the
bot
world right
side,
here.
Perhaps looking for another ganky mid, or maybe looking to try and put this gangplank down early.
Smites the wolf for 3.
Available to him. It was
So Volibear should have the early game ganking advantage over Hecarim, but Hecarim just scales better in
We
snowballs.
saw Caps pushing very heavily there into last hit. Anticipated early on. Powder Keg connects here from Finn onto Wonder. We'll get some damage back, but the
Yeah, the map
starts
looks a little
pushing
weird to
forward.
me, but
Lots of
whatever, it's
trading
fine.
back and forth. Finn continues to stick around.
So
Wonder
Yankos is gonna be
maybe
first
Yeah,
jungler
keep
up
your eyes
here.
on Yankos here. Wonder
He
took a
does.
lot of
Finn
aggressive
does have
trades
W,
early
but he
on.
could
Finn
easily die
relatively low
to
on
this.
mana and Inspired
He doesn't.
not
He hasn't
pathing
warded
towards the
yet.
top side of the map. Level 3
I think he
comes through
warded in
for
the bush.
Finn.
Okay,
It's
he's
each one of
he's
us to
trolling.
play.
He's gonna have to burn his flash at least.
Make his way forward. Gets the damage down, applies a red
Oh,
buff
maybe
as
not.
well, and I don't think
I think
Wonder's
Jaeger's trolled
anywhere
with his E.
nearby.
I think if he just put the
Estimates
E a little bit in front of
that was
Finn, Finn would have had
couldn't get
flash.
past him anyway.
It's the
Like,
difference
obviously,
between level
Finn
2
is
and level
going
3
to,
right there. As soon as Finn hits level 3,
W
he's
your
gonna
Q.
have access
I'm
to
pretty
the
sure
oranges, and
if
that's gonna mean that
Yankos
Wonder
played it
just
better
calls out
there,
places.
he could
Yeah, chuck him out,
blow the
but
guy's
I'm gonna make
flash
sure I
by
don't
holding
miss
the E
space.
and
let's have
placing it a
look at
little bit
what's happening
better.
on the minimap right now. Wrong one. I want to bring up this one. Notice that Inspired immediately went back to base, and now his plan is to pass straight through the bot side and actually go towards the bot scuttle. His bot lane actually has prio in the 2 versus 2, but his mid lane doesn't. So if he had attempted to contest the scuttle crab in the top side river, he would have been in a
So,
serious disadvantage because Caps
we have
had
to look
push
at
in
Tarek
mid,
Ashe. It looks like Tarek
Sion
Ashe
had to
are
push
being
in
pushed
top,
in
the
here,
GP was also forced
which
to
does
recall,
mean
which
that,
this is good adaptation and still being able to get
Inspired
that
can
early
get this
scuttle.
bottom crab.
It may even be possible.
Where he's
for
actually not
Inspired
stronger than the
because
Volibear, so
Larson
in a
just
fight
took the
he would
early
actually
reset,
lose here.
Teleported back in the lane. Like Inspired could play for the respawn of Yankos' Krug camp. or sorry, his Gromp camp rather, with pressure put down
Yeah,
towards mid.
Claps
especially with bot lane
is
also
pretty
pushing.
good on
Here
Syndra,
he
man.
is.
This guy's pretty insane on the champion.
Larson onto Caps.
Good dodge from Inspired. Really well played by Inspired there, honestly. Respect him. That gank should not work out, and he just got it to work out. Also, I'm pretty sure Caps didn't have mana for his phase rush proc. Like, to cast 3 spells for phase rush, so that ended up being an issue. I'm pretty sure he didn't end up proccing it there.
What you said, VODs, and straight out the gates in game 2, Inspired manages to make it count.
And this wasn't supposed to happen.
Well, pretty good gameplay there from Inspired. Inspired's been 1 step ahead of Jankos this series.
Inspired says, forget that. He comes there very, very early. And now a flashless Caps is only going to be more vulnerable once the ultimates come through for those 2 players.
Certainly is.
And it's actually really hard to hit the horse there with the stun. Like, it looks easy when really good Syndra's play it, but it's actually pretty difficult because the horse is coming in at million movement speed. What Caps could have done was just like flash early, and then Inspired wouldn't have had the angle, and then he could just line up a better stun.
That Caps could have frozen that wave and could have made life difficult for Larssen. So thanks to Inspired's intervention, this also makes the 1v1 a lot easier for Larssen, as you can already see him taking a good couple of trades.
Yeah, I really like trading there aggressively with the smoke screen. You can also see Caps' wave is building up, so without a flash, now Larssen in theory could try to hold the wave, although I think without having the smoke screen up, he's going to have to wait the minions to walk their way into the tower, rather.
Well, Larssen's going to be very happy with the start of this game. Gets the first blood
from Larssen,
secured.
yeah, pretty good. I mean, this matchup is not supposed to be easy for the Syndra, by the way.
Elected to run that Syndra into it. It's still very close on gold. It's only a 200.
It's pretty difficult for Syndra to actually like trade well enough that Akali doesn't get an advantage. You have to be playing a lot better on the Syndra to negotiate this lane. Like, get through the lane.
Over the wall, and Hunt summon Vanda. A little bit of threat here. Able to get caught out by the dazzle. Vanda flashes away.
Okay, they got the flash.
Jankos
Jankos kind of walks into the turret, but I mean, they get the flash, so Jankos at least burning a flash here. Not bad.
No ultimate available. Wonder will be able to just pop that shield and get away safely. He holds onto his flash as well.
So both junglers just making cross map. Jankos could
Inspired looks a lot better in this meta than in Spring. I mean, I don't know if it's that or just like the team is just way better, so as a result, he looks better.
A lot of damage coming out and unleash power as well.
I don't know about
going
this.
to be enough just yet. Larssen now decides to turn back around to
Well,
Jankos.
that flash from Jankos is pretty grief, I think.
To even push back into the lane.
Like, even if he gets the stun there, Larssen just has R2 and just R2's out. It's like, it's plays like that where I'm just like really confused about Jankos because he's been such a good player for a while, and then it feels like he's kind of like lost his ability to like, you know, really understand like those situations and like what his limits are. And now he's just gonna die for it. Yeah, that's just a jungle gap, I guess. Wow, Caps actually trades one back because they think he hit like pretty much every spell there. I don't even think that should be a trade back.
Before the gank happens, Caps actually lands the EQ combo to get the delayed stun through and
the boomer flash. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I don't know if it's like tilt or not playing enough solo queue or what it is, but it's a really weird flash. It seems like almost desperate in a way. And then here he has no Q.
Going underneath the tower.
And he's just walking like directly into them. When he sees the enemy jungler is 6, he should be running up towards his wraiths.
Potential to go for the collapse here. Inspired's burst damage is massive.
There's the
he's just running towards Caps. Makes no sense here.
But then the ultimate comes through from the Hecarim, and they're able to lock him down.
And watch Larssen here. So he's going to get the kill on Jankos, but first he's going to E back, so the mark lands on his shroud. He can then get the kill, jump back to it very quickly, and it
I mean, Caps getting that kill is actually pretty fucking difficult.
Vanda also made his way up to that middle lane just as the fight was ending. Had it been a few seconds earlier, may have been able to jump into the fray. 2 kills secured here for Larssen, and he was the focus of our.
Why haven't we seen Jankos prioritize Hecarim? I don't know. I guess they just haven't been winning with it. I mean, Jankos is normally the type of player that tries to enable his lanes. That's what works best for G2, which I don't think there's a problem with that, but
it feels like we're almost past that point.
It's just like the champions he's playing, he's not playing well right now, I think is the bigger issue, at least from my perspective.
From early power plays,
if you don't want to play Hecarim because you want a more versatile champion, because Hecarim's like kind of a 1v9 champion. You do like farm quite a bit, you have to play selfishly, you have to path in the way that's good for you, not good for your team. Like, there is reason why a team cannot play well with Hecarim, right? Like for example, another team that I think about is like Top. So Top Esports with Karsa, even though they do play Nidalee and Grave sometimes, they use those champions differently than, for example, like an Eve or Hecarim would need to play. They don't have to play pure carry in that style. And I wouldn't see Karsa playing a champion like that because he has good laners. There's no reason for him to play like Hecarim, right? He doesn't have to pop off with it. That being said, I still think that, like, you know, the champions that he does play, like when he plays his Lee Sin, when he's playing the set, like whenever he plays the Graves or the Nidalee, it looks a lot better than when Jankos is playing these champions. So it's not like all team here. You can prefer not to play certain champions. I think that's fine, but
a little bit surprising. Often
yeah,
you see that priority,
you just have to be good at what you're actually playing then. Top CS gap? Yeah, Finn is just playing weak side, guys. Wonder is certainly not a better player than him. It's just he's playing weak side, and you know, Wonder got that one gank where Finn had to use W in lane, and it just skewed everything, man. Changed the entire game.
Very quickly into the Drake, you know, Hansama just took a reset to finish off the Mirror Mana, but
I mean, legitimately that can happen, but that's just not what happened here. I'm just lying. I'm literally just lying to you guys for content.
Rift Herald for the Dragon, top tower for bot tower, these types of plays. Instead, they say they want to set up this freeze down towards the bottom side of the map, knowing that Inspired is top side. The call is, let's try to deny Hansama some CS. Perks already has a small advantage. Can we make that more? But with 4 ranged minions in the backside there, this will end up pushing into Rogue regardless.
Yeah, they're actually setting up a slow push here, which means that G2 could be looking for a dive.
Wonder hasn't top gapped Finn so far, though.
Yeah, same for Wonder.
I mean, I think he did. I think in the first game, he, like, griefed, but he was still ahead even after he griefed. Part of that's lane matchup, but then here, like, the Sion into GP. Sion is the best tank into GP. It's not supposed to be this good, though. It's not, like, 20 CS in lane good.
It was in that brush, so will not have the flank option, but can still teleport to the minion wave on this play.
Is making his way forward.
Kickstone missed there.
Tension is building.
Okay, they hit it onto Hansama, but they don't have any follow-up for this, do they? If they are able to walk it off. I mean, I guess Perks is basing here, so it's not the biggest deal in the world, but yeah, I don't really like it. Also, not a huge fan of Bork in this game.
And if Inspired's down there, they're not going to be able to make that play, but Mickey,
oh, he's just dead.
He absolutely did. Now he's caught out. We'll be able to get the Cosmic Radiance down there by some.
He's just dead. He has flash, but I don't even know if he uses it here. Yeah, he's dead. They're double TPing bot lane. Is that anything? Okay. Good play from Wonder there. Caps is dead. Oh, Caps ends up living for no reason.
It's going so wrong for Rogue. They had everything in their sights, and they
I mean, Larson just missed the E.
And once again, Larsen's a Kali.
I mean, I guess that ends up being 1 for 1.
Had 2 clean kills there, and he doesn't get either one. Ends up being a 1 for 1.
But yeah, I mean, everyone TP'd down, so it was 4 TPs bot lane, ended up being 1 for 1.
They ended up giving Mickey's life away for free.
Yeah, I mean, I thought G2 were crazy committing the double.
I mean, I feel like he should have died there, period, though. Like, Senna just didn't finish him off either. Cap's movement was good, but I feel like he's just dead there no matter how well he plays. I gotta see the replay. Maybe it was just outplay. Okay, let's see. Let's focus in on this replay real quick. So Perk says, fuck you, I'm not canceling my base for your dumbass. You're a support, I'm an 80 carry. Your life means nothing, my life is everything. Boom. So that's the mic check right there, you don't need to listen to that one now.
The follow-up TP comes in from the
Jankos has to ult out.
Get involved in the fight just yet. This means that the initial fight is actually a 3 versus 4.
Play some Wonder here. Okay. So I mean, I think Larson had his Q up in like 1 energy. Pretty sure he's just dead there, dude. I'm pretty sure he should just die there.
And both those kills walk away with just a tiny bit of health left.
It's a really hard skill shot to forgive for missing there too, because Caps was locked on the tower. He could only really go one way. There wasn't a lot of area for him to juke away from. Larson very much should have had that in fumbles.
I love the fact that he was going for both, though. Unfortunately, missed it, but it looks...
I mean, we've all been there. Quick shot. You know, when you have so many...
Auto the turret, yeah. I mean, it just doesn't look like you can outplay that. I think it's just pretty grief.
The best thing is, though, it's exactly the same as Game 1 in terms of, like, gameplay.
All right, Bork for the Ashe. Pretty big power spike.
Every single fight. They are trying to force errors on G2, and they are trying to earn that advantage by multiple dives and plays.
So the biggest
I think they missed 2 autos there or something.
Is that Perks is on a champion.
I think this looks worse than an A. I mean, the players are playing pretty bad mechanically this series, that's for sure, but in general, the plays that they're making are higher quality than the plays that NA makes.
Upgraded Blade of the Ruin King this game as well.
Like, the times where they do fight make sense. It's just the mechanics have been really bad this series. Just surprising.
And so he is kind of that late game insurance that you're looking at for G2.
How do you go down 40 CS as GP? Player diff.
into the mid lane, gets a couple of plates.
Calisteric.
for Larssen, but
Calisteric
can't
I actually
hold on
like
to his
here,
tower.
though.
14 minutes in.
It's going to be
no
the
towers
Abyssal
falling.
Mask. I think it's
Before the
actually
tower
pretty good
dies.
here.
And one thing that I hadn't actually noticed until just a moment ago.
Because he has a lot of like
He's already
AP
got
like
himself a
on his team,
25
right? Like
CS advantage
there's going to
over
be
Finn in
3
the top
champions
lane.
on his team that will benefit from it somewhat.
As he's also got the Sunfire cape completed and sitting very comfortably in that matchup.
It seems that G2's strategy when it comes to
Scion
picking
TP'd
red
and
side is very
GP2,
much being
TP2,
played to
yeah.
the top
I mean,
lane
normally
counter.
if you both
They did
TP,
it
it's
game one
advantage
with
for the
KO.
Scion.
We
The
saw one
GP
that was
doesn't
pretty
really
big
want to
advantage there. We
TP
see
out
it
of
again
lane to
game
fight.
two where
GP
Finn
just
has
kind of
that
wants to
champion
chill,
give him slightly,
farm, use his
better
ulti on the other
matchups
side of the map, but he
early
doesn't
rounds,
really
but
want
as
to
the levels
TP
progress, it starts to shift
to
in
fight,
his
so
favor, and you can
that
see what
wasn't
Wanderer's
actually
doing
good.
there. The thing is,
G2's
while
in
on
a
the
stable
gangplank,
spot
he's
though.
gonna
They can
still
win this
have
game
that
pretty
ultimate.
easily, and I
Still
think
gonna
scaling
offer
favors
value,
them in
and
this
he's
game
always
as
gonna
well.
be a threat that you have to be careful of. His Trinity Force obviously very delayed, but now G2 looking for a pick onto Inspired. He's cautious though.
Oh, the observer's highlighting the vision. There's the blast code.
He's
No,
ult.
taps away. Onslaught of the
Fine.
Shadows is going to get him over the wall very cleanly.
Some value
Now
out of,
Larssen and Vander step forward. Winter's Bite will
value out of his
tag
ult there.
onto
Wait, did he
Wonder.
have actually
Doesn't
any
look like
tenacity
Finn will
there?
get away.
That
Now, I know
Volber's
how
stuns,
Inspired's
like,
gonna
evaporated
scale in this
fast.
game. We've talked about it a lot, but Ender, you've been a little
What is the Hecarim
nervous or
setup?
hard on Jankos' volley bear. How is
Love
he
to know
gonna
here.
play in this comp as the game continues to progress?
Well, the big difference for him compared to his Graves earlier is even if he is behind, he has a higher baseline amount of utility he can offer with some of the CC and just
What is
being a
Jankos
tank
doing?
able
He's
to
just not
absorb
having a
lot
good game,
of
man.
damage here, and I
He's
think
just
that's
not having
sort
a
of
good series.
G2's composition in a nutshell with a Scion, a Volibear, the Taric ultimate. It's about having a huge front line that can survive and buy space for perks and caps, which was completely absent in the last game. So G2, it's going to be so much more reliant on teamwork, making sure the tanks are working well with the carries and going for engages that can be followed up upon and they're not getting left out to dry.
Now, a pretty cool thing just happened on screen, which we often talk about here in the LEC. Senna's pushing.
I can't even
down.
see. My
What you'll
quality
notice
is so
on the
bad.
minimap is
I
that
can't even
G2
see that it's
actually
Legend
swapped
Tenacity.
members
Hold
up
on, let me
towards
try to up my
topside.
quality
And
again.
because this
I just
tower's
don't want it to
already
lag.
very low, they're able to push that wave, and you can see that both
Oh, it actually
Rangers
is.
and
Yeah, it's
Turret have already
precision second.
reset in
I literally
phase.
didn't even know that there was
Senna
second
and Brawl have only now just
runes
gotten
there.
back, which
There was
means that
secondary
G2
runes there
have
because
a
I'm pretty
lot
sure they
more
don't display them
time
in
to come back
NA.
out onto the map and
But
start
yeah, I mean, my
making
quality
plays.
was just so
Typically,
bad.
they
I was on
refer
like
to G2
144 or
tempo.
something.
They now using this to
My
secure
quality
themselves
just keeps
a
on
rift
dropping
barrel.
super
And off the
hard
back of
for
this,
some
they
reason.
can look for a mid tower, they can look for a bot tower play if they want, but the moment they take this objective, that momentum's going to swing in
YouTube is
Rogue's
effing.
favor, 'cause
For
they're
me,
now
it stayed
getting
on
into
this
the
time.
map, and they're going to look to try and challenge.
And without the momentum, G2 wouldn't have been able to do Herald because like they were on vision, right? But Rogue realized because G2 were back on the map
YouTube
so much
is,
sooner that they do have to
fine
give
for
up
me
that
right
play.
now.
Now G2 looping around on Finn, they want to shut him down.
He is in some trouble. Flash is still available to him. He throws
Okay,
that
Finn is
one
flash
down.
here, but I think
Stormbringer
he's just
comes
dead
out from
either
Jankos,
way.
And the Oranges will not make it okay for Finn. A lot of tower damage coming out, and not going to be able to pick up the kill there with the Dawning
That set
Shadow
was pretty
from
ambitious.
Summer, so they get a clean kill and get out.
Yeah, very nicely done. Use the shield there to soak up some extra damage towards the end. And now G2 can take a reset. You know, Yankees
My ISP is fucking me over. I don't think it's my ISP here.
40 seconds, and I wonder. G2,
I'm not dropping any
Perks and
frames
Mickey
on,
can push out this wave and then look to rotate over too, which I think is going to be the play for them.
I'm not dropping any
Force
frames
Rogue
on
to fight them because
Twitch
G2 are very
on
powerful at
OBS.
this moment in time.
Now, if I'm G2, what I would look to do is clear out bot. I'm going to use a minimap for this. Clear out bot, push this wave out.
Rogue really
You
needs to
then use
change
the Rift
top.
Herald
I mean,
to also push it mid.
Finn
And
just
the thing
can't play
about the Rift
carries,
Herald is it
which is
creates a
weird
massive
because that's how
volume
everyone
pressure
described him.
that
Like,
Rogue
he
will
was just
have to
known as
deal
like
with.
this
So
Kled
they're
player.
then
He's like a
divided
Kled
between
Aurelia,
either contesting
really
for the
aggressive
Drake
player.
or
And at
the
this point in
tower.
his career,
So
he's literally
even though
like
Rogue
tank
is first in
only.
the advantage, because
Anything
G2
that's not
have
a
that
tank, he
Rift
just
Herald,
gets
it could
outclassed.
put them into an awkward situation. You'll already notice.
I guess Finn's Aatrox is really good, and the fact that Aatrox was nerfed out of the meta really hurt him.
To what we were talking about.
Yeah, and Finn going to be a little late here to get here. Larssen as well. And what this means is Caps goes for the flash.
Oh
does not
my
connect.
God,
Now
Caps.
Inspired.
Oh no. And then Inspired is running it here as well. Okay. Terragol comes down. This is advantage for G2. Ensemble gets ulted. Oh my God, the arrow misses. This is like everything is being missed here. It's like a good rotation of everyone onto to mid, but like, Jesus Christ, what is going on?
Retreat from Larssen, and there's simply not enough follow-up. That's a flash forward from Wonder. He will not find
Okay.
anyone with that
Trading the
decimated
flash there
slash.
from Wonder onto
G2
Akali was
win the
good.
fight, get the tower and fall back to Dragon.
Inspired and Larssen going so hard to force that play, but G2 catch it and immediately shut them down. You know, the ultimate did get down from Mickey, which allowed Caps to stay alive, and that was so crucial because once that comes through, all of Rogue have to back out, and Inspired spent everything getting into the fight. It was a sitting duck.
Yeah, initially, I think a lot of question mark pings were coming out as Caps flashed in, trying
Okay.
to get that execute, and when we get the replay,
Fine, dude, it's it's so sad that Finn still hasn't completed his call. He got his call on his first recall, I'm pretty sure, and he still hasn't completed his call.
This then gives an opportunity for Inspired, but Exhaust immediately comes through.
Inspired didn't even get his fear onto Caps. He just missed.
He really is the MVP on this champion right here to turn this play in G2's favor. Then Wonder joins the fight.
Yeah, and I mean, Wonder's able to come on.
Pretty well played from Wonder, honestly. Perk should 100% be able to land that onto Hansama. Now, Hansama had just used Cleanse, so I think he still had the reduction. Also, I think Akali missed that Q onto Perks, maybe. Not 100% sure, but that's what it looked like to me.
Then Wonder ends up trading the flash there too.
And you can see that this was the
Timer
approach
unsynced. It
that
might have been
G2
unsynced
took
because
against
I had to pause for a second. No, it's fine. My timer is pretty much equal. It's like half a second ahead or something.
With the exhaust, the ultimate, the stuns, the repeated
Draft, what do you think is better? I think G2's draft is better.
That made it so difficult for Fnatic to successfully
I prefer the draft here because Akali Hecarim have to dive, and then they're diving into a Terracar, and then also like when I'm also factoring in how good the draft is for the teams. And yeah, I don't like Finn on GP. I think his GP is pretty awful. So Finn on GP is pretty bad. Like, I think that that's a grief. And then yeah, just the way that it functions, the GP has to play really well to kite out. Like, he's the most important one because his other teammates are gonna have to like wait for good things to be set up by him from barrel combos or good ultis so that they can actually engage and the Terracle is actually blown. Better than BBGP? Yeah, I mean, I don't think BB's gangplank is that good either. BB has like a fine lane phase, but he just never seems to like pop off in team fights with barrels. Oh, they're going for this. I don't know about this. I'm pretty sure you just can turn here if you're G2. Or you can just walk.
Now they continued engage. The unstoppable onslaught coming down. Wonder will pull that one short. Teleport was committed from Larson for the play.
So that's a Akali TP.
I think there were sparks flying off.
Guess that was the idea behind the fight, was they had TP advantage. But yeah, I mean, the GPL was kind of ambitious.
So I want to talk a little bit more about Rogue's comp because I do find.
Do you ever think G2 wins this exact same draft versus top esports?
Find that punch before Tarek's ultimate.
I mean, probably not. I don't know. This doesn't feel like this would be a very good top draft either for them. I don't think that top would play well with a Hecarim jungle. If you know the way Karsa plays, he's really trying to enable his lanes, and when he plays carries, it's like because they have set up for the carries. It's like a very like solid playstyle, I would say, not a very 1v9 playstyle. Hecarim is better when you're trying to just carry the whole game alone.
Like a modern day wombo combo, Ender. You know, in the traditional back in Trevor's day, it was the
too fast, too furious.
Orianna,
Well,
Jarvan
Tarik
wombo
is gonna have
combo,
ult
now we've got a lot more
for the
globals
next
in the
dragon
game.
probably in 2
Same
minutes,
like
so
gangplank
they're just gonna
to
fight
everyone
around that,
top,
and then that's
we're
third
seeing
dragon
more
for
when
them.
it comes to bursting someone.
And on Terracle timers, they should be stronger.
100 range abilities, now they are 20 million range abilities.
What about Damwon?
200 years of range.
Yeah, like, I'm not sure.
That is fantastic. This game is so close.
I'm not sure how
It's
Damwon would play with
600
this type of
gold
draft.
separating them, 22
Seems
minutes in.
like
G2 do have 2 dragons,
a little bit weird to me, knowing how they normally play. Like, I can't imagine Barrel on
set up at the right time. The previous fight,
like
G2 just got the
Braum.
better of them.
Just
And in
knowing how
contrast
they
to game
play,
one,
right?
where Rogue
And
had
then
vision control,
Naguri
Rogue
on
was into the
Gangplank.
jungle. Now we get to see how they respond to
I'm not
pressure
sure.
and how they react
Like,
to what
Naguri
G2
doesn't
is
seem
doing.
like he would be a
G2 once
very,
again pushing
like,
vision in, trying to set up for the
I don't know,
second
like a
round.
very
What I'm
good
hearing,
gangplank
Quick
player because of the
Shot,
way he
is
plays. Like, he
you
dies
want
in
Ender
lane,
to
and that's
explain
kind of
what
acceptable on
Rogue's plan
tanks
is
and like
to try and
other
get a
types
little
of
bit more
carries. But I feel like
forward
GP has to have solid lane
So
phase.
I'm gonna
So
be that deliberate. I'm
I
gonna
would
bring up a
I don't
minimap
know how
for you,
good
Ender and I are gonna talk about this because what G2 have
Naguri's
done is
gangplank
denied
is.
a lot of vision. Thank you for showcasing this, observers, and they're looking for a pick. So Rogue is trying to wrestle the way back, and they're looking for a fight.
Okay, they're onto Caps. There is no ult, no Terrac ulti this time. But Inspired is just one shot. They have to just try to kite.
Mickey's running for his life. Larson cannot find the target.
Yengo
just
still has
yet.
ult.
And the Cosmic
This is
Rays
fine.
still available.
Hansama has no flash. Hansama has no flash. He griefed.
Not going to be able to use it. He gets shut down. And Wonder
All right, can they
arrives.
Baron off this or
That
no?
Flash from Caps over the wall got him to safety.
And G2 may just peel off towards the Baron here. I
Maybe
mean,
they shouldn't.
you got the
Akali has
Wonder
ult.
stepping into
GP has
enemy
no ult, though.
territory.
Maybe they
And
can.
Larson both here. Oh, Larson failed to hop over the wall.
Oh, Larson failed his E over the wall. Damn, the mechanics in this game are so weird. What happened, man?
Gonna try and challenge inside the pit, but there's no smite.
Tarik is the
available
best
to them.
Baron champion in the world, though, so I guess they're fine here.
Might be an option.
This champion is so OP at Baron.
He's got the ultimate available to him. Vander takes so much damage.
Stay on Baron,
from
stay on
the
Baron
first
here.
of G2, and Wonder's
You
just
just
gonna
win.
zone them away. Lawson tagged by the volley.
The
Is he gonna look to go in?
Senna has
He's
ult, but
inside
it doesn't
the pit,
matter.
trying to find the damage.
You literally just win
Stopping
here.
up, finding the Baron is
Tarek has ult too.
secured by
Okay,
G2.
take it.
It's picked up by Yankos.
Oh my God, Wonder actually
Onto
problem locked into that, I'm
from
pretty
his
sure.
life. Gets so much damage in reply, but Lawson is blown up where he stands. G2 with a gigantic play into the Baron, and it looks like they're gonna find
Oh,
themselves Finn as
the
well.
stun.
Nowhere for
Caps
Finn to go.
predicting
Cap's
the
gonna come on
TP
here to finish it
and
off.
stunning the bush.
G2 in
That's a
a
tilter.
commanding lead
That's the
off of
best
that
Syndra in the
play. They
world.
dive Finn out, and they're not even going to lose the mountain play off the back of that. Wonder teleports back to the
That's a
mid lane,
win. That's
and
a
G2
dub
are
for
right
G2
back
here.
out there ready to move.
Whew. So, I was expecting a lot more setup from Rogue. I was not expecting them to just hard commit to the dive, but from their eyes, they saw an opportunity and they went for it, and it did not pan out. When we get the replay, let's talk about that coordination ender, because it was something we talked about earlier on. And what does this team fight look like when the entire Rogue members commit onto a single target? They all funneled into that little brush that's just above Wonder right now, and they committed the Gangplank ultimate, Inspired ultimate, and Larson was looking for the flank, but even with all of that, they still could not kill Caps, and because of that, the fight still went in G2's favor.
It was so odd. There were so many opportunities to call off the play, and once again, they are squaring up against G2, but the zoning is excellent here. G2 will get their third Drake. The game of the air comes
There's
through.
another fantastic stun coming out. Inspired
Okay,
jumps in
well,
alone.
Inspired
He
is
does
fucking
have
hard
lost
running it
with
here.
because Lawson
This is a
currently
grief.
dueling with
This is a
Wonder.
hard
Gonna
grief
dash
from
through
Inspired.
once again and continues to retreat.
Yeah, I don't know. You can never go that deep as Hecarim.
From Caps, and G2 landing every single
You know how that
thing
feels
in
too. When you like ulti over a wall 1v4, you have no follow-up on Hecarim, and you only have a Triforce. You don't even have your Death Dance yet. Can't one-shot anyone. They have a Tarek. Like, you know how that feels, man, if you play that champion. It's pretty doomed.
Will not be able to defend their bottom lane inhibitor. G2 struck, and they struck hard.
And just like that, Collapse is suddenly online. You give him an inch and he'll take a mile. Here's Syndra coming up clutch once again. The G2
It's a free win at this point, though.
In form here in game 2.
The composition and how it's working together is just fantastic. Mickey's had some game-changing.
But Cassie's so
cosmic
good. I mean, he's been playing
experiences.
pretty well for most of the game. He had some mistakes, but yeah.
Thwarted so many of these potential dives.
The NA Hope rising. Well, the NA Hope is like rising, but not in the way you want the NA Hope to rise. You feel me? Like, you want NA to be looking good, not other regions looking bad and being like, well, these other regions are playing so bad, maybe NA can fucking win. Like, I don't think that that's the vibe you want going into Worlds. Because then it's like, oh, what happens if like NA just doesn't play bad? That's why I think so many people wanted to see C9 do really well in NA. Because they were a team where it's like when they were playing well, it's like, oh, they're actually like proactive. They're playing well. It's not that the region is just playing like dog shit. But then as soon as everything fell apart and they weren't able to adapt to the meta, then that came out the window, you know? We take those anyway? Okay, we'll take whatever we can get as NA. True, true. I'm with you on that, chat. We are just taking whatever we can fucking get, boys.
In game 1. So now with the Baron buff just wearing
Respect.
off, G2 might have to look to buy a little bit more time, look to reset, but they have the right set on the top tier 2.
Yeah, and they also in 3 minutes, it's going to be a Dragon Soul, the mountain for them, which, I mean, you got 2 tanks, 3 tanks. Could not get any better than that for them. Rogue are going to have to try to wave clear, but their wave clear tools aren't even that excellent, right? It's the Senates and Akali really just gangplank barrels to try and cut through that, and G2, they're strong enough that they can tank tower shots.
I'm just waiting for Rogue to engage. I'm just waiting for Inspired and Lawson. Look at them waiting in the wings. There's a lot of damage there.
Okay, are they going to try to engage onto Caps here? Tarek ult is down, and the Tarek ult actually went off here. They weren't able to kill Caps yet.
Waiting to go in. Cannon Barrage comes down. Only Wonder is
You have to keep on
available to
healing.
them.
Wonder is just going to have to
Hitting
tank
their
his way
hit, but
out.
it's not gonna matter. The
Larson's in the
damage
backline.
is
He has to run
so
from
safe
Caps
in
here,
the backline.
or Caps has to run from him here. Oh, Larson griefed it. Larson really fucking griefed that one. Feels bad, man. Feels fucking bad.
Super minions in the base. Rogue have not been called back to deal with them, so G2 re-engage onto the tower. The third inhibitor, or the second inhibitor tower.
Why does EU teams never perma-ban Cap Syndra? I mean, the thing is, like,
Look at the
you don't want to
heals
waste
from
all your
Mickey.
bans on
Caps
mid lane,
is
right?
almost
And
full.
every team is forced to ban LeBlanc into Caps anyway because he's so good at it normally. So,
So
unless you have players that can counter the LeBlanc with something, normally you want to ban Caps LeBlanc. And then if you're banning his Syndra too, then you're only leaving like one ban. That other ban is probably going to go to Set because Yankos is like mainly a Set one trick. So you kind of end up in a situation where like you have to, when a team is good at multiple different picks, you got to really like decide what you want to let go through.
They've got themselves a Mountain Soul in a minute and a half. They've got double supers, and they start making their way into the base.
I think they banned Zoe as well. So, I mean, they could have banned LeBlanc, Syndra, Zoe, but that seems pretty fucking troll.
Yes, he will.
Yep.
Yep. Vanda, he was trying to
Like,
be
what happens if
cheeky,
you just
interrupted
ban
Rogue's back, and he was
LeBlanc,
like,
Syndra, Zoe, and then he just takes Orianna? It's like, oh, well, that's pretty okay.
Let's see how that works. Let's have a look back at this fight once again.
Even though Caps didn't have the best Orianna game in the world last game,
But look at this. The
you know,
fear actually
I don't think that it's like a hard L. I don't think that he's
Santa.
incapable of carrying games on Orianna.
From Mickey, and Mickey's whole goal here is to just peel Larson away from the fight. Larson still has the Shroud, and the rest of Rogue are like, okay, let's kill the front line.
Yeah, just such a good position, like based on the terrain for G2 to fight in, because all Mickey has to do is lock off that one choke, and there's no way for Larson.
What the fuck was that from
Larson?
Larson? He tried to E backwards and then R through, and he went like 1 inch on either direction.
Lingering around, so it's not even like Rogue can walk on past that. Now G2 have
Yankees is just
everything
2G in
inside
playoffs.
Rogue's
I mean, I'm not sure what to make of Yankees in playoffs. It feels like he can't play the champions that the other junglers that are still left in the tournament are playing. Like when you look at Inspired and Selfmade, they're like playing a ton of Eve, a ton of Hecarim, you know, these types of champions. But when you're watching G2 play, it's like, all right, Volibear set every game. We tried a game of Graves. Okay, back to Volibear duty.
Series 1-1. We got a series on our hands.